At the time the story took place, I was a rookie cop, which meant I got stuck with the worst shift in the worst part of town. Depending on the night and how busy things were, I would sometimes have a partner with me. Of course, this night, I was alone. Although there was another guy not too far away, I was patrolling around one particular area of the city that had recently seen an increase in drug activity, among other issues. The night was slow. I was becoming increasingly tired when I got a call from the dispatch. They explained someone called saying they kept hearing weird noises and low whispers coming from all over their house. It sounded to me like this person was likely drugged out or just crazy. Nonetheless, I had to go check it out. My usual partner, Derek, was just down the street and had nothing else to do, so he was told to meet me at the address. The house was moderate in size, definitely nice for this area of town. Derek and I walked up to the stoop, knocked on the door, and we were greeted by a 20-something-year-old man living alone. He explained that he was hearing weird cracks and scrapes going on around the house, especially at night. He also said he would occasionally hear this crazed whispering. "I've looked all around and can't find anyone or anything," he said. I told him we would take a look around for anything out of the ordinary. I thought this guy was tweaking hard on LSD or something when Derek called out to me, "Hey Jim, come check this out." There was a small door cut out in the wall. It was tucked back in a corner, almost hidden by a bookshelf. As much as I really didn't want to, I knew it was my job to look in there. I opened the door slowly and shined the flashlight around. I didn't see anything at first, but I slowly rotated my flashlight to the right, and I was horrified. There were two people crouched down behind a box, staring straight back at me. You could only see the tops of their heads and eyes. It was a horrible sight, and I jumped back. By this point, Derek knew something was wrong. We ordered both of the people out of the little space. They came out slowly and looked disgusting. They were dirty and smelled horrible. They were eventually taken away while we were left to search the rest of the space. Disturbingly, there were chip bags and cardboard set out on the floor like a bed. That meant these two had been living in there for who knows how long. I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. With that, I've seen my fair share of weird and unusual events. However, this one night from about 15 years ago will always remain in my memory. Ever since I joined the force, I've always worked nights. I'm a night owl, and something about the nighttime has always been relaxing to me. Anyway, this night I was patrolling around a middle-class neighborhood in my town. Residents had reported hearing taps on windows and doors, as well as claiming to see a human-like figure walking around people's backyards. At one point in the night, I was parked at this playground that was in the middle of the neighborhood. It was probably 12 or 1 in the morning. I was starting to get tired when something caught my attention. Just barely to the left in the vision of my headlights, I swore I saw a leg come out of the woods. At first I thought I might be seeing things. As I sat there thinking though, the more sure I was that what I saw was real. This was obviously a concern. No one is supposed to be in those woods, especially not at this hour. I decided to get out and take a quick look around. I shined my flashlight around and didn't see anything. I took a couple more steps in. A huge snap of a stick not too far away made me stop in my tracks. The force applied sounded way too heavy to be a deer, which to my knowledge were the only large animals that could possibly be living in there. I started hearing this faint noise. The best I can describe it is it sounded like someone humming, but super low and almost distorted. It was consistent now though. I could just barely hear it, but there was no doubt there was something in there. I walked closer to where I thought the noise was coming from. All of a sudden, it just stopped. I was standing in the middle of the woods, confused, now only hearing the sound of the night. I stood there, flashing my light all around looking for something, anything, but there was nothing. I heard a voice whisper, "Hey," from directly behind me. I shot around in half a second and my light revealed a man, half hidden by a massive tree, staring back at me. I ordered him out and cuffed him. As I led him back to my car, I felt as if I was being watched and that someone would jump out and attack me at any moment. I got the man in the car and took him into the station. Turns out the guy was wanted for break-ins in other places around the town. He was on the run and probably living in those woods to some capacity. This event still gives me chills. That low, creepy humming, the sinister hey from behind me, and that sight of that guy from behind the tree just staring at me. This man was dangerously ill, and I hope that he got the help that he needs. I'm a cop in a small town. Not too much goes on around here. Occasionally something of significance will happen, but for the most part, it's small town USA though. Anyways, one night in particular not too long ago, I was on my usual shift. It was another slow weekday night. It wasn't too late, maybe 10 p.m. At one point in the night, I pulled someone over for speeding. I didn't really intend on giving them a ticket or anything, as they weren't really going that much over, maybe 6 or 7. I just kinda wanted something to do, as bad as that sounds. We pulled into a gas station parking lot that was mostly dead at this hour. I realized I actually knew this person. His name was Jack. His son and my son actually went to school together, so I would occasionally see him at school events from time to time. Like I said, I'm from a small town where pretty much everybody knows everyone either way. We were talking a little bit, and I noticed something unusual. There was slight movement coming from the floorboard in his back seat. I asked him what was in his back seat, and he responded nothing in a confused tone. I told him I was going to have to take a look and that he needed to step out. At this point, I was genuinely concerned that something was not right. He ended up getting out, and I opened the door and lifted up the black blanket covering the object. I was shocked by what I saw. There was a full-grown man laying on the floor clutching a knife in his hand. Apparently, the man was a complete stranger and must have snuck in while Jack was at the store earlier in the night. The fact that the man had a knife like that on him wasn't a good sign. If I hadn't made that stop, he would have likely been robbed or possibly even killed. No matter where you live, I advise everyone to lock their car and always be aware of your surroundings.